Hey, you!
Want to get doomed?
I'm Tessa.
And I'm Nicole, and we have a spanking new podcast for your ear holes called Doom Generation.
Listen in as two foul-mouthed biddies have an always casual, often comedic...
What? I think we're funny.
...and sometimes chaotic conversation about the things that doomed us to be who we are today.
Take a trip with us down nostalgia lane, and we'll try not to veer off the road.
Available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Doom Generation Pod, and on Twitter at DoomGen Pod.
Later, Doomers!
Some people like hockey a little, some people like it a lot. Some people put biscuits in pipes by finding an open slot. Wouldn't you like to find a place? Shooter and Hooters knows a place that we can all go and claim. A place where we can go insane. Bunny and Don are here for you. A one-level hockey takes. Great place to go, and let's all go insane.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to a very unhappy, no good, very bad episode of the Shooter and Hooters podcast. I'm Don. Here with Ebz.
As usual.
Hi.
Hi.
So this is a shitty episode for me.
Well, this is an interesting episode, really.
It is. I mean, the first thing I'll talk about. So my Rangers, they're officially done.
Yeah.
As of last Monday. Yeah. I guess that, I don't even know what to say to that. And
there's nothing to say. It's heartbreaking and doesn't make any sense.
Well, then Gerard Gallant and the Rangers have mutually agreed to
thank God
part ways. So there's a lot going on in Ranger Town with a coaching decision looming in the future and players as well. We'll get into that a little bit. There's a lot of rumors going around, and some I don't like.
Same.
The playoffs are interesting. I can tell you that. I know I've been watching a couple games. As I said, Seattle's my team now, and they're doing their part.
I mean, we're both Seattle, and this has just become so interesting to watch.
It's been a lot of fun to watch them. They're playing really well, and I'm enjoying how fun that series has been for the most part. I know. I mean, we'll hop over to the East. I feel so bad for Toronto fans. Really, I feel like they won the first round of the playoffs for the first time in like 16 years or whatever it was, and then they won and they were
hyped up.
They were all in the street. They're waving their flags. They're blocking roads. They're flying, doing all this shit, hanging from light posts. They go like, oh, there couldn't be a clear path either. There couldn't be a clear path for them. The Rangers went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Done. Tampa, Eastern Conference Finals last year. Done. Boston, best record in the league. Done. And these fuckheads can't get their shit together. They can't do anything. They're down 3 games to nothing to Florida. Your favorite team.
Oh, fucking Florida.
I don't even say the name of the team because if I say it, she'll probably throw up. I don't know. So I don't understand.
It actually doesn't make sense because they played so well in that first one. Like, I get Florida is technically, looking at past history, it should be the better team and they should be ahead, but I don't think it should be by as much as it is. They should have them on their tail.
I mean, Toronto had the first 2 games in Toronto. They took a shit and couldn't win, and they lost they lost in overtime on Sunday, and down to well, you guys are listening to this on the same day. It could be elimination day for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and all their fans can go cry in their John Tavares jerseys and Austin Matthews jerseys. And I'll tell you what, if they lose this series, which is looking like it will, don't be surprised if that core isn't together next year, meaning Austin Matthews, John Tavares, Michael Nylander, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, Michael Nylander. God, we're going back in time. But I have a feeling at least 2 of the 4 will be gone. At least. And then they'll be back to square one, where they'll be a shell of a team. And I don't know. I feel so bad. Like, at least the Rangers, they fucking... I don't know. It's almost
where
like...
Where are you going with this? Because the Rangers, there was a... No.
No, well, where I'm going with it is... So the Rangers, for the past... I want to say since 2007-ish, have been in the playoffs. They had good playoff runs. Not every year, but they've kept their fans excited. They kept it exciting. You know, on years where I almost feel like when the Rangers have high expectations, they fall and they just turn into shit. When they don't, like last year, when everyone's like, this is going to be a rebuild year, blah, 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 and they go to the Eastern Conference Finals, then this year they're like, the Rangers are the Cup favorites. And then... So I feel like that's a thing, but like every year, and any hockey fan that's out there that's listening can attest to this. Every year for the past, I want to say 4 to 5 years, the Toronto Maple Leafs were top 3 to win the Stanley Cup. In every projection, and every year, apart from this year where they did win their first series, and now just completely have taken a shit in their second round series against Florida. I just don't know what to do. And like I said, at least the Rangers, you know, they've kept their fans engaged. I mean, this team, I feel terrible. And then that other series, Carolina and the Devils, that's another one that I'm fairly uncertain about, meaning so the Rangers couldn't score off this guy Schmid, right? They just couldn't do it. And first game, Carolina put 6 past them.
Yeah,
Second
there's
game,
something really sus about this.
I mean, there's a lot of people saying that. There's a lot of like,
because it doesn't.
There's a lot of that going around. There's a lot of that
up.
going around. A lot of that going around the NHL lately. A lot of, we'll get into that too in a little bit, but there's just a lot of this like
conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories in the NHL, and I don't know if I would say it's a conspiracy theory. What I'll say is, I think Carolina came with a game plan, and the Rangers didn't.
Nah. No way. There's no way we should have lost as bad as we did to them. Even if we were to lose, right? I'm not saying the Rangers are the be-all, end-all just because I'm a fan. I understand that they can lose. It happens. But the amount that we lost by in some of these games make no fucking sense. When Carolina come marching in with this, what'd you say, 6-0?
It was 6-1, I think, the first game.
And it's just like, doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't add up.
And what's funny is, if you look at the goaltending between Shesty and Schmid in the first round, or just New Jersey's goaltending versus the Rangers, because Vanacek played 2 games. So if you look at the goaltending, the Rangers had the edge the whole series, even though they lost the series in 7 games.
Yep.
Shesty's numbers were way better than either one of Jersey's goaltending numbers.
And it really breaks my heart that that's the case, because anyone who keeps an eye on Shesty as much as I do, you know, he's beaten himself up for that. It doesn't matter about the numbers. It doesn't matter how well or bad the team played as a whole. Shesty puts it all on himself because he's the goalie. So he's 100%, unless it's rigged and they're aware of it, but we're not going to go there because we don't know.
Yeah.
But all things to normal, he's blaming himself, and that's so unfair because the team played shit. He played well. and he's
Yeah, I mean,
always in his head.
we had a bunch of guys that make a heck of a lot of money that did absolutely nothing that series. Kreider was really the only one that actually stepped up. Guys like Zibanejad, Panarin. I mean, and you know, it's funny on breakup day when they had all the interviews. I mean, Panarin called himself out, and he knows it, and I respect him for that. And the Rangers are going to have a different landscape next year. I
Didn't
think
you say
the
Kane
team.
was also playing injured and no one knew?
I mean, people knew,
No,
but
but
I
like
don't think they knew the
general
severity.
public didn't really.
Yeah, the hip injury was known when he came here, but they said it was well enough under control, and apparently it wasn't. And
Clearly, because he played like fucking shit.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Waste of fucking money. The
Yeah,
whole thing with the Coyotes and trying to get him and all the bullshit hoops that we had to jump through to get him, and he proved nothing additional to that fucking team. Not one thing did he add to that team.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know.
Infuriates me, the whole story, how we got him. It just so frustrating.
And now, I mean, you have the uncertainty of if he comes back, which I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I would want him back. I feel
He can fuck off. Someone else can pay a ridiculous amount of money to get him and jump through all the fucking hoops that we did, because it was a joke.
looking at a brief, what I will call a retooling of the Rangers for next year. What I think should happen. This is just me, and we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Rangers need to trade Barclay Goodrow and
Okay.
shed that cap and shed that salary cap. They
Mm-hmm.
need to sign Vladimir Tarasenko 100%. I think
keep Spanko.
as soon as he came, as soon as he came here, as soon as he came to the Rangers, he was an instant impact.
Absolutely.
He showed it throughout the playoffs. He's a two-way player. He plays defensive hockey. He can play the body. He could score. He could pass the puck. He's a great two-way player, in my opinion.
I couldn't agree more. I think he really showed himself.
And the real surprise in that trade, which everyone was kind of second-guessing until they saw him play, was Mikkola. I think he was brilliant back on defense, and I think he played a heck of a series, and I think he played a hell of a game down the stretch for the stretch run for the Rangers, and I think it was great to watch him play. I think they need to sign him. Obviously, you need to sign Keandre Miller. Here's the sad part. I have a feeling one of two people are going to be going bye-bye, and that's going to be, I feel either Lafreniere or Capo Caco.
No! Laffy Taffy and Carbo Taco!
Yeah, well, I
mean, the two foodies!
Just because you have nicknames for them doesn't mean they get to stay. It's not a definite.
Taco Taco is more fun to say, so we can fuck off Laffy.
No, I'd rather not see either one. I really like the Rangers to see these guys through for a perfect reason. So, Tage Thompson on the Buffalo Sabres. I've talked to you about this.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the league for quite a bit. Okay, he came to Buffalo. He had some iffy years. Now all of a sudden he's scoring 35, 45. I don't know if he had 50-something goals this year or some shit. Like, he fucking killed it in Buffalo. I'm telling you now, the way the league is in the East and how good everyone's getting, you look at how good the Devils are. You know, the Rangers were good. Carolina is good. Florida is good. Detroit's getting better. Buffalo, in my opinion, is one player away from just stomping on half the Atlantic division. They're really good. So there's a lot. Going back to the Rangers, now you look at Lafreniere, who was drafted but 2 years ago as the number one pick, and everyone's given up on him. They did the same thing to Tage Thompson. They traded him, and then he flourished. Keep this kid, get him in the weight room, tell him to put down the fucking golf clubs, get in the weight room with Kreider, get some bulk on him, let him get tough on the puck. I guarantee you he's going to score goals. But we'll see what happens. Overall, disappointed for the Rangers, but you know what? Life goes on, and there's nothing to really say about that. I mean, like I said, the other playoff series have been kind of fun. Dallas and Seattle has been a great one.
So much
Florida and Toronto is a fucking blowout. You could probably count them out tonight. Jersey and Carolina, to me, has been boring.
Yeah, it has. I agree.
I've watched a couple games. There's been some stuff. I heard Jack Hughes lost a couple teeth. Whatever. He needs to shut the fuck up. But
Serves him right.
I don't know. There's a lot that can be said. And then Edmonton and Vegas. I mean, again, haven't heard much on that series. I know Leon Draisaitl for Edmonton is just fucking destroying the league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he does it, but God bless him. But you know, going into next season, 23-24. So, last night, we're recording on Monday, unfortunately, but last night, because you're listening to us on Tuesday, was the NHL Draft Lottery. I hate this, but I understand why they do it.
I'm glad you do, because I'm so lost.
So
strange.
there's a lot of shit going on in the NHL with a lot of controversy and whatever, and tonight kind of opened a couple eyes on it as well. And I don't know how big of a story this can be, but whatever. So I was watching the draft lottery, and they go and they pull the fucking lottery bowls or whatever. And a couple people, I feel bad for the Red Wings. For the last, 6-7 years with Yzerman or whatever, they haven't moved up in a draft lottery. They're stuck, I think, in 9 right now.
I can't
feel bad for them
on this at all because I have no idea. I'm so confused.
So technically, in the order, it would have been, if everything stayed the same, it would have been Anaheim, Columbus, Chicago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But they kind of did a flip-flop, and now the draft order of the top 3 is Chicago, Anaheim, Columbus. But as I was watching the draft, before they announced the lottery ball for the 3rd pick, they played pre-recorded footage of Kevin Weeks. And God, I love Kevin Weeks. So the fact that he's involved in this bothers me. But I love Weeksy, and I think he's great. But they played pre-recorded footage of him saying Columbus dropped to 3rd. And it didn't happen yet. Like, they didn't pull the ball. So it's like, okay. Great. Yeah. So then that happened, so you don't know. So it's either Chicago or Anaheim. Chicago got the 1st round pick, and let me tell you, as soon as I went on Twitter after, it just became a shitstorm for the hatred for Chicago Blackhawks. And it's funny. So I live in South Bend, Indiana, and we're about an hour from Chicago. So everyone here, I mean, training camp for the Blackhawks is always at Notre Dame, which is literally a mile from my house.
Mm.
And everyone here is a Blackhawks fan. So everyone's going to be happy, but the rest of the league and the NHL, because of all the controversy that was surrounding Chicago, and then their obvious tank of the season to try to get the 1st round pick and getting it anyway, I don't know. I feel a little iffy about it. I mean, I feel bad for Bedard. Connor Bedard is going to be the 1st pick. He's going to go to Chicago. And the way they've tried to rebuild that team, he's not going to see a winning season for a very long time, in my opinion.
Okay, so as someone who has no fucking idea what's going on with this lottery pick, because it makes absolute zero sense to me.
Okay.
Can the players say no? So
No.
Chicago say, we've got first pick, we want Bedard, that's it. They get them, end of story, that's it.
The only way he could... I don't think it's ever happened. I've not seen it. I don't know. Like, if he refuses to play?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can. I guess he could...
So if a team was surrounded by that, like, even more controversy than what Chicago is at the moment, which is still a lot anyway. But let's just say that there was, and it was really, really bad. Like, this team is horrible, bottom of the barrel piece of shit. And as a player, you don't want to be attached to that. They can say no, like they can refuse it, or they're stuck. They're fucked.
I don't think. Here's my thing. And playing hockey for so long, and knowing hockey players, and knowing the the life of being a hockey player. Like, not that I was in the NHL, but I know people that are. I know the arena, so to speak, of the people and the type of people that are there.
Mm-hmm.
No one that gets drafted, regardless, is going to say no. Why? Because getting drafted into the NHL is a really big fucking deal. It's not...
Yeah, but if he said no, then couldn't another team pick him up?
No, because technically Chicago still has the rights to him, because they drafted him.
So it's an automatic right. So regardless, he'd stuck with them.
Yes, yes. And from what I understand, it's never happened. Now, I know it's happened in football before, and I know it's happened, whatever, but I don't...
Well, if they hold the rights as soon as they're picked, then that's why that's never happened, because you can't say no because you're stuck with the team anyway. That doesn't make any sense.
It's a draft for a reason. It's a draft. I mean, no one has any...
Yeah.
No one has any say.
I've followed sports my whole life. I've never given a shit about drafts for this reason. It makes no sense to me. The logic behind it, a lot of the time, is confusing. Like, this is, for me right now, is just going way over my head. Like, for me as a player, I'd understand that you want to be drafted. It's incredible that you've proven good enough to be able to be in the pick, right? But for this sort of scenario, it doesn't make sense that they get the rights to the person, because it should be up to them to choose who they play for.
No, it's not. It's never been.
Yeah, but it should be.
It's
that
never
is my
been.
point. Because as a player, I don't want to be associated with a piece of shit team, and then my name is tainted because of this fucking team that I'm stuck with.
Well, you know what I'm going to tell you, right?
Here we go.
What?
I said, here we go.
You know what I'm going to tell you?
What?
Write a letter. Write a letter to the NHL. Like, listen.
Speaking of writing a letter, I am still creating a playlist for everyone listening, so it's coming.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yes. All right. Yeah, we did discuss that. Are you really going to send it to Rod Laver Arena, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll send a link in the email.
Oh, you need to post the email you send.
Yeah,
to fucking Twitter.
I will.
This is amazing. I can't wait for that. And you need to put in, what's that instrument again?
The didgeridoo.
Yeah, the didgeridoo needs to be in there.
No, it doesn't.
But it does. Though.
No, it doesn't.
This is blasphemy.
It has nothing to do with the didgeridoo. It rhymes. Not happening. But going back to the let's forget about the didgeridoo.
No, you can't. How do you forget about an instrument called the didgeridoo?
Why?
You can't. It's impossible. You can't.
You grow up with it here.
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, that is the greatest. That is the greatest name for an instrument that I've ever fucking heard in my life. I'm
going to find a better one for you for next week. To get your mind.
You know what?
I'm going to find a better named instrument for you for next episode. Just so you can get off my case with the didgeridoo.
Challenge accepted.
Anyway, off topic.
Go ahead.
Going back to the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So Chicago's got the first pick regardless, and because Bedard is who he is, it's likely they've got him, is what you're saying.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. And my logic makes no difference because you pick them, you got the rights to them.
From what I understand, yes. I don't, and again, that's never happened in the NHL where a draft pick's like, no, fuck you. Like, I don't want to play for you. No. Like, that's never happened. Because I think it's just an important thing for a player.
Yeah, it's
like,
just
I get
the
it.
fact that you're in the NHL is all that matters. It's not
Yeah,
meaningful.
like I can tell you, I played my whole life. Like, yeah, obviously it was a dream at one point, but obviously it didn't happen. Otherwise, well, I'd probably be retired by now, more than likely. Yeah, I'm 39. I'm dead already. So yeah, but I'd never like care if I like. Would I care? Okay. Like, if I got drafted by the fucking Islanders, like, I'd shed a tear.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, my dream has come true. I'm playing in the NHL.
Yeah. I get it.
Like,
It's
what?
just, yeah.
Like, look at, okay, we'll take the number one, right now, the number one American-born hockey player is Austin Matthews. He plays for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He grew up
Yes.
an Arizona Coyotes fan
Yes.
because he's from Arizona.
Yes.
Okay? So, yeah, would he like to play for Arizona? Probably.
No, of
Maybe.
course. But Toronto is shitty, but they're not surrounded, from what I'm aware of, by so much controversy to the point that it brings the team down as a whole. And the organisation and that. That's what I'm getting at. I'm saying if there was a team that was so bad in relation to controversy where you really just don't want your name attached to it,
I get what
you're
you're saying.
stuck with them regardless. Like, I'm not saying just preferences. Obviously, as a player, you want to be playing in the NHL if you're being drafted. I get that. 100%. It's the same with any sport. You spend your life training and wanting to get to that, that professional level. Makes 100% sense. But
Yeah.
if the team was that bad, where you don't want your name tarnished because you're associated with that team.
The only thing I can see him doing is talking to his agent, telling his agent he doesn't want to go to Chicago, and having them say, like, listen, he doesn't want to play. Don't draft him. Find someone else. But I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Because what'll happen is he'll get a name in the same process. He doesn't want to play for Chicago and say that, and it gets out into the public. He'll already just make a name for himself of being a pompous piece of shit for not wanting to play for them because of whatever. And just, it'll even be more of a bad name than if he played for them.
That's ridiculous. But anyway, I get it.
I understand. Everything is not a perfect world. I get it. And, question for you, since you're talking about drafts, and I know you follow the NBA for, the most part or whatever, but, like, do they have drafts in any sports in Australia?
Yeah,
Like,
I think so. I think AFL and NRL and all, I think most sports have drafts. I've just never paid attention to it.
Okay.
Like, it just
'Cause
never
I was
fazed
curious.
me. I would follow a team and then I would pick up on the fact that there's a new player or new team or whatever when the season started. Between season start and season end, and whenever they do their drafts, I didn't give a shit.
Okay, fair enough.
The
I was just
only
wondering.
time that I really paid attention was if, for whatever reason, magically out there, someone follows AFL. I was a Geelong supporter. And Geelong, back then, when I followed, had a player called Gary Ablett, Gary Ablett Sr. and Gary Ablett Jr. Gary Ablett Jr. left the team, which was a heartbreaking decision because his family was within the team. Like, they were Geelong. His dad made a huge name for himself, really famous, really good player. And he left, and then he became captain of a new team that came in, which was for the Suns, the Gold Coast Suns. And that's when I paid attention because he was a great player, and then it was almost like he was betraying the team because his family had stayed in the team for so many years. That side of stuff I might have paid attention to, but specific drafting, no. It just didn't, I could never get my head around it. like I am now with NHL. I don't understand this. You got fucking lottery balls, for Christ's sakes. Like, it makes no sense. But it is what it is.
Listen,
like I've never paid attention to the NBA either. Like I don't click.
Leave the balls alone. Okay?
I'll leave that statement alone.
Just
Anyway.
leave it. All right.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the draft situation ish going on. I mean, it'll be interesting. I know. And what's also weird is the draft is later this year. It's in Nashville. It's later. It's like the 28th and 29th of June. Usually it's at my birthday. Usually it's like the 22nd and 23rd, like around there. 21st or whatever. So this year it's later. And then
the other thing I don't get is why they delay it. Like, do this lottery bullshit and then like 2 days later do the picking. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, they got to spread it out. So the league has to stay relevant, right? Like throughout the year. So like right now is the playoffs. So obviously this is peak time. So the Stanley Cup Finals will finish in June, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, probably. So you'll have that, and then it'll be the draft at the end of June, and then the NHL awards, and then the NHL will go a little quiet for July and August. Well, then July there'll be free agency. So all the free agents and everybody, trades and signings and all that. And then August is usually kind of quiet, and then September preseason starts again.
It just doesn't end.
As you know, because you're going to the game. So
it just doesn't end. It's the same with NBA. It just doesn't end. You guys need a break.
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers. The Rangers have a break. They lost in the first round. They're not playing hockey again until September.
It's meaning NHL as a whole.
No, I don't need a break. I like hockey. You can go year round for all I care.
Jesus.
I enjoy it. And given that the Mets suck this year, so moving to baseball now is fucking heartbreaking. So I have nothing. I'm done. I might as well pick up how to play the Didgeridoo because I got nothing else going on.
Can you please?
If you buy me one, I'll do it. Bring me one.
Please.
Bring me one, and I'll play it. Bring me one.
Deal.
Bring me a didgeridoo. That is let me tell you something right now. Saying it, the word itself makes me laugh.
This whole episode is more about the didgeridoo than it is hockey.
Yeah, I don't care. We're doing it again. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I've said this 100 times. Don't expect to learn much here. But if there's one thing you're gonna know, is the didgeridoo is my favorite. My favorite word. That's it. I'm gonna get another cat, and I'm naming it Didgeridoo. That's it. It's done.
Oh God.
And on that note, we're gonna close out the show because that's all that needs to be said.
Oh boy.
Because what else? I mean, we can sit there and talk about reimagined mascots.
Oh my God. If anyone is on Twitter, please. I've reshared it on our Twitter page. Please, God, go visit our Twitter page.
Harold the Sea Monster?
Was it someone famous? Someone had put in, I don't know. There was an account that had put in.
That's the problem with these blue check marks.
Yeah, no one knows who anyone is. Someone had put in the mascots from the NHL and put them into an AI generator. And they were all reimagined. And it's the funniest thing you've ever seen.
It was horrifying. That one for Seattle, Harold the Sea Monster, is gonna go down. I actually want that as a stuffed animal.
Please, if anyone is out there, create these and please change. Can we petition for the Leafs to change them? mascot because this
God,
bear
I
had
didn't
like
even see
wings
it.
made out of leaves.
No way. I didn't see that one. That's great. Oh my god.
Dude,
What a fucking disaster. They even gave the Rangers a mascot, which I don't understand how
yeah,
that
it
happened.
was the best. Can we please get a fucking mascot next year?
You know what I thought? You know what I thought about after this? And this is
What?
your fault.
What?
This is all your fault. I was like, you know what the Rangers should have as a mascot?
What?
A gorilla. Why? No. Do you want to know why? You're laughing, but do you want to know why?
Yes, I do.
Because of King Kong on top of the Empire State Building.
What the fuck does that have to do with Rangers? This is the problem.
Because it's New York.
Yeah, but this is the problem with half of the NHL fucking mascots.
Oh
Is they
my
make them
god! It's why
sense.
because it doesn't. Because it doesn't mean what it is. Like,
That's what it's supposed to be. It's the whole point of a mascot. It's not just.
so let me ask you a
cause.
question. So the Toronto Maple Leafs, who do you want? A fucking leaf hopping around the fucking arena? That's the dumbest shit you've ever said in your life.
A giant maple leaf with eyes.
Like, what do you?
You know,
Oh my
okay, you know
god!
what I'm going to do is I'm going to
Terrifying.
recreate them all. I'm going to recreate
Oh my god! Can
them
you draw? Can you draw them?
Yeah, I'll recreate them and draw them and share them on Twitter. So by this time next week, and we'll go through them on the episode, by this time next week, I'm going to recreate all of the mascots to what they should be. To make
Can we do it by division to draw it out? So that'll be 4 episodes.
yeah,
Or do you want to just do all of
give me
them?
more time to draw them literally. So
Like, what would you? I have a question.
go on.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What the fuck would you put for like the Montreal Canadiens? Would you just take some Canadian idiot named Paul and have him walk around with a beer? Like, what would you do?
That's what I want it to be now.
Like, hey, Paul, how's it going?
Mascot.
What the fuck? Are you serious? Just some drunk hockey fan named Paul with a jersey on?
Hockey fan.
Like, who's this guy? Who's missing their dad? No, that's the mascot. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like,
That's just me.
okay,
Oh,
so here's another one.
What's your mascot, Paul?
Yeah, it's just some Canadian guy from down the road. And then, so there's that. There's that.
Mhm.
What would be the Islanders one? What?
An island.
You know what? We're not even going to ask. Oh, yeah, exactly. Just an island walking around. I need to see this. I'm curious now.
Palm tree.
So this should be interesting. It really should.
It's not a
This is
fucking
just- this is
fisherman, I'll
just-
tell you that much.
Fucking ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. And we're going to tag every team and be like, this is what your mascot should be. Paul from
Oh my
fucking...
god, and I'm going, yes, okay, so I'm going to create them, post them on Twitter, and tag the teams. Be like, this
Yeah, the mascot...
should be.
The mascot from fucking... Yeah, Jesus Christ. Paul from Montreal is the mascot for the Canadians. Just some guy.
Just some drunk dude
A
named
super
Paul. And on the
Canadian.
back of his, like, he'll be in the jersey, and on the back we'll just have Paul.
That's it. Just Paul.
Just Paul.
69. Paul.
Paul 60.
Or 00. Paul 69. Jesus Christ. What a fucking disaster. Now I'm really fucking curious, like, what you would do. Like, what would you do for the Hurricanes? Just have a fucking, like, a fucking wind machine?
A wind turbine.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
A wind turbine that walks around.
The Flames is just a fucking trash can with flames coming out of it.
The flames can be for anyone who watches anime. The flame can be, I can't remember its name, but the flame can be the flame from Howl's Moving Castle.
What? I don't even know what that means. Yeah.
Ask your daughter, she'll know.
Yeah, we're speaking different languages now. Oh. There's just all these sort of interesting things. Like, I'd love to see what you do for the Minnesota Wild. Just the fucking... God damn it. I don't even know.
It's too funny. That's
Paul is going to be the best.
Oh, Paul.
Hey, Paul. Throughout the game, he just gets drunker.
And drunk.
Till at the end, he's just in a corner vomiting on himself.
Exactly.
It's stupid. Oh, I'm glad that we're subjecting our listeners to this.
You're all welcome.
Now everyone's going to be like, #Paul for mascot.
Oh my god, yes. #Paul leads the trend.
Some guy named Paul is going to be like, why am I trending?
#Paul the Canadian.
Yeah. Every Paul that's from Canada is going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Some shitty podcast in the United States and Australia is all fucking with Pauls in Canada. Unbelievable. Jesus Christ. Well, there you have it, folks. And welcome to the Shooter and Hooters podcast, where we're talking more about mascots and didgerido's than we are about actual hockey. It's fun. It's a good time.
You gotta keep everyone on their toes.
Sure.
So much.
We'll say that.
Sure.
We'll say that. That's what's gonna happen.
Watch us lose every listener after this episode.
Just one that we know of. He loves listening every Monday.
No. We have more than one. We just have a favorite.
We do.
Anyway.
There's just the one. All right, well, I tried to close out the show earlier, but then we started talking about Paul. So now we're really going to do it. Sorry, any Pauls from Canada that listen. You're now the mascot for the Montreal Canadiens. Fill out your W-2 or whatever they call the tax form in Canada and let them know you accept the position because that's it.
You're welcome for your new job title.
And what the hell what's the mascot's name for the Canadians? Is it Herbie or Huey or?
No idea. That's like the one I don't keep up with. Between that and Wish Spyro, they're the only two that I don't keep up with.
Oh, what the hell is his name though? It's all fucked up. I don't know. He used to be the mascot for the baseball team, the Expos. Then he left. I don't know. Who cares? It's Paul now. So that's it. Well, thank you guys for listening, or guy or girl or whoever. We appreciate it for people, and yeah, we'll see you next week. Hopefully, we'll have some sketches and possibly a playlist to discuss. So,
yep.
have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the playoffs.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, it's Ebony. You thought you got rid of me? Too bad. I'm back. Just here to let you guys know, if you enjoy our banter and our bullshit, come follow us on all our socials. At Shooter Hooters on Twitter and TikTok, or if you're after something different, follow my two podcasts, Film Spark Pod and S&S Nuggies, or Sweet and Sour Nuggies. Mental health, film, hockey, cover it all. Come follow us. Come follow me. Fuck Don. That's all there is to it. Follow the Aussie with the better accent. No, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for listening to us bullshit and banter, and you'll hear from us in a week as per usual. Bye, guys.